I thought that all of Group A looked pretty strong. I think Boom ID is kind of like the big surprise of the tournament. Their mid player Mikoto has been like playing fantastically. But I think that RNG was probably, if we weren't the favorites, I thought that they were. They were incredibly close to actually qualifying to the major through the China qualifiers, which is arguably just as hard as the European qualifiers. Well, that was our first match, so it's a little foggy, a little hard to remember. But I do remember that we won the first game, although it was quite difficult. I think we made a bunch of mistakes, but I think that our draft was still good enough to win the game, regardless. And in the second and third games, I think are kind of the same story of the rest of the tournament for us. We've just been making a lot of mistakes and some poor draft decisions, and it's been this group stage format has been nice for learning. It's not the most punishing, as we're all going to be in the winner bracket tomorrow. So hopefully we take what we learned from those losses and can apply it to the matches going forward. It's hard to say. You know, playing against them, I felt they were quite weak as well. A lot of times when I was expecting them to be making movements on the map, all of a sudden they just wouldn't be doing anything productive. It seems like they've maybe probably going through some internal struggles, more or less having a difficult time of, you know, looking at where they could improve. It seems like they just took a game. They're in game 3 now versus RNG. So RNG's, I think, stands out as the best team in our group currently. So if they take this best of 3, maybe they've had some discussions over the past couple days, and they've shown that they can win games and qualifiers and tournaments before. So who knows who they'll be come playoffs. I think that we had the first game, we played it on second pick. I think that right now we're playing much better on the second pick, or at least we understand better ways to draft on second pick. And first pick is something that we actually chose in the second game. Like we talked about, these matches are a little bit leaning towards the practice side rather than the super serious side. So we're gonna keep these 2 games. I think we learned a lot more about ourselves and how better to draft and play our lanes on first pick, so hopefully we don't make those same mistakes going into tomorrow. Well, you know, Dota teams don't really hold too much back. However, I do think that in these kind of exploratory, less serious stages, teams to try to do new and things that they're not quite sure about. I think that you'll see less surprises from us. And hopefully we won't have to get too crazy to win the games. Not really. I mean, we have a pretty unique opportunity here at the minor. I think that a lot of people, like you said, NiP is one of the favorites to win. Third place in our group isn't looking quite like doesn't seem to be quite shaping up that way, but we're still pretty optimistic about our chances. I know that we think that we have what it takes to go straight to Paris. So hopefully that's the storyline at the end of the tournament. That being said, storylines going forward, we're hanging on with a thread with our DPC standings, and we have our fingers crossed that there's not too many upsets in the upcoming big tournaments, and hopefully we can still get that shot to compete at TI. I mean, the more matches you play, especially like on a stage in like an official setting where it really counts, it's good practice for your team. These are, unfortunately, like I do think that the format is maybe a little silly. I think that maybe we could have done like some faster kind of. I mean, seeding and group stages is important, but when everybody starts in the winner brackets and it doesn't really. All these teams are pretty even. We're all the teams who almost qualified to the major. So the difference in skill level I don't think is too drastic.